Hello, this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts with the first video this year for the Fancy Fold Craft Challenge 2023. This is a collaboration between all these lovely ladies here, which are Monica from Monica Klaska, aka Paper Mona, Christine from Christine's Cards and Things, Jenny from Jenny Ginger Ninja Crafts, Katarina from Create with Katarina, Kerry from Kerry's Card Creations, Monica from Monica Crafting with Quilling Lady, Emma from Emma Lou Loves, and this month we've got a new lady joining us, Denise from Little G Paper Crafts. So I will link to all their channels and their videos below. And if you'd like to join this challenge, you can use the hashtag that you see here, but I will put all the information in the description box below as well. So what I love about this challenge and why I decided to join it last year was because I get to know new fun folds that I've never done before, and yeah, it gets me creative. For this one here, I decided to use a paper pack which I bought last year but hadn't used yet. I love Winnie the Pooh, and I especially love the original design by Ian Shepherd. I'm not too much into the Disney one. He's okay, but I prefer the designs here. And when I saw this advertised on a British website, and I have a look if it's still available there, this is from Echo Park, which I do believe is an American company. Oh yeah, it says made in America there. But when I saw it advertised there, I thought, yeah, I'm going to treat myself. And this comes with lots of pretty papers. They're double-sided papers, but it also, I'll show you that in a moment, has got a sheet of stickers and some sort of toppers. And I think these are really, really cute. So this is one of the papers I have chosen, and they're all double-sided. So you've got papers that don't really have a motif, you know, just a pattern, that go nicely with the colour scheme. I've also chosen the gingham. I love gingham, and I love the combination. I tried to pick up some colours that I've got here. So I've got this sort of yellow here for Winnie the Pooh, and I like the light blue that I've got in Eeyore, so I picked those up. Oh yeah, and I used the bees on the back as well. And this is the sticker sheet, just to show you this. So there are sort of paper stickers, and I used some of them. I'll show you in a moment how. And these are sort of the toppers. These are some bigger toppers. You've got 9 here, but I used some from these sheets here where you had sort of 4 in a row because they were a bit smaller and I could cut them down to the size I wanted. But oh yeah, they've got some bigger ones there as well. So lots of cardstock here to make really, really easy cards. So for the card itself, it's called an up down up card, and I had a look online because I'd never made this one before, and I found a channel, I hope I pronounce this correct, Srushti Patil, and the measurements were in centimeters. I'm going to link to that channel below, by the way, or to that video. The measurements were in centimeters, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll just translate this into inches. And I tell you what, it wasn't that easy, but I learned from one of my last videos, so I made a trial run here. I'm not showing it too much, so I know my measurements will actually work. Get rid of that cat out there. So I have cut 2 pieces from fairly light cardstock. I'd say this is just about like 130. Because we're putting mats on there, it doesn't need to be too sturdy, and especially this piece, you don't want it to be too sturdy because we're folding that into 5 layers, and if it's too thick it won't fold nicely. So this one here, the card base, is 10 inches, and I've cut mine to 5 3/4 in height. You can alternate the height if you wanted to. I thought my idea was sort of, I wanted to put it in a 6x6 envelope. It won't be a 6x6 card, but I wanted to, at least in the height, get close to it so it doesn't have too much space in it. but you could theoretically cut it down shorter, and let me just check that. I think you can then, yeah, because it's only 4.5 inches wide when you fold it together, you could even cut this down to 4.5 and have a square card. So it's up to you. So as I said, I've got 10 inches, 10 inches by 5 3/4. And the other piece, so you couldn't even see the measurements, apologies for that. So 10 here and 5 3/4. And the other piece here, that is 11 1/4 by, again, I decided that by 3 1/2. Again, the height, you can vary that. The width, I would leave it as it is, because I worked out for you where you need to score. And I'm doing that in a sec. So, the big piece. You need to score this at 1/2. Do it this way. I'm also mindful when I've got thin cardstock, it sometimes wants to shift when I start scoring. Then at 2 3/4, then at 7 1/4, and at 9 1/2. And that leaves us with this 4.5 inch panel. Yep, 4.5 inch in the middle, and then we've got, let me just check that, 2 1/4 panels here and 1/2 inch panels on the side. Not quite sure if the camera picks it up. So, and this other piece, we need to score that at 2 1/4, 4 1/2, six 3/4, and at 9 inches. Again, I'm making sure it's flat, hasn't shifted. There we go. And that leaves us with 5 equal panels that are 2 1/4 wide each. And I think that's the important one, that you've got even ones here. On the bigger panel, we need to create mountain folds here on those smaller flaps. So, and the other two score lines are valley folds. And what you want to check, and I'm not burnishing it just yet, is that these fold together nicely in the middle and are basically like a gatefold card. And that's why I'm checking that, because sometimes the score lines can be a bit uneven. So I'm actually making sure that this edge here is aligned with that one. And if not, I can sort of move it into place before I actually burnish it. And because we've got the thin cardstock, that's really easy to do. I'm doing the same here, because that, again, it's a little bit open, but rather have it a little bit open than have these pieces overlap. So I can hold this down in place, and then I can press this down. So that's what we want. So, and with this one here, I'll have to have a little think again. Yeah, same thing. The inner score lines are valley folds, the outer ones are mountain folds. So, and again, let me just zoom in a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. If I fold this down now, this is not even, this doesn't align, so I need to push it up a little bit and then burnish it. So fold it here, and I might also have to correct it in a moment. I'll show you why as well there, because we need this to fold down into each other. So even that one doesn't even align with that score line. But my important thing is, before I burnish this one, I need this to fold flat nicely, and if I've got that, I'm happy with that. So, but this one, yeah, this one's not scored properly. It doesn't matter, I think, as long as we got this sort of movement and we can fold it flat. So this is what it looks like from the top, and I need to be able to fold this either this way or that way. So I'm not bothered that it doesn't sort of cover it completely. I don't know why that is, because I did measure on my scoreboard, but it's okay. So now I need to put my mats on. Let me just zoom out again. I have cut for the main piece, I have cut one layer for the middle. I've chosen this paper here. I tried not to cut too much into the animals there. I could probably have moved over a little bit and not cut Eeyore's bum off there, because I've got a bit of bum there. But if you've got a bigger motif, maybe consider having a smaller pattern. But I quite like the images on here. This piece here is 5.5 inches by 4 1/4, which gives me a nice little edge around here. And then I have cut 4 pieces that again are 5.5, but they are only 2 inches wide, and they go onto the panels here. And I've chosen to actually have the back of this here, which are the little stars. I thought about having more of the bears, but I didn't want to have a discontinued pattern, if you know what I mean, because I cut these actually like this and not next to each other. So I've got a bum of Eeyore here and then half a piglet, and I didn't like the look of that, so I will actually use this one. And for the outside, which is the back of these, I have cut 2 strips from this pattern paper, which I chose again because it goes with the color scheme. So I've got the light blue and the yellowish ochre, or ochre yellowish, so they go on there. So I will glue those down off camera in a moment. And for this piece here, I have cut 5 pieces that are, let me just have a look at my notes. Tell you what, I'll measure them again. Oh yeah, they are 2 inches by 3 1/4. Yeah, 2 inches by 3 1/4. So I have basically cut the gingham paper, but use the bees on this side, and it's quite nice paper because it's not directional, because they go in to all different directions. For the middle one that will be revealed when you open the card, I have actually stamped this birthday wishes on a piece of scrap cardstock. This stamp here, if you're wondering, that's from Lavinia Stamps. And I have just used 2 of these stickers just to fill the space a little bit. That was more like an afterthought. And for the outer pieces, one of which will be sort of revealed when you close the card, I have chosen these quotes here, but I have cut the original pieces down because I didn't like the way they fitted onto the card. So I have also stuck them on the gingham, and I like it when the sort of colours come together. So I've got the gingham in the middle and the gingham on the outside. I only have got the gingham on the top and the bottom because I didn't want to cut these quotes down any further, but I have used my corner rounder here from We Are Memory Keepers to make it look a bit nicer. This one actually has got a bit of residue from the ochre yellow from the original piece of cardstock, but I think it doesn't matter, it blends in a little bit. So I will glue these down here. Yes, and I quickly do this off camera. By the way, just in case I forget to say that, I have got some scraps here from my pieces of card. I've also got some big pieces, but I think I will create maybe a little card, extra card at the end, just to use them up. I have stuck all my pieces down. What I didn't tell you is that I'm using this Bearly Art Glue. I only recently purchased this from Craft Stash and I'm really happy with this. Very easy to apply, not lumpy, not too wet, flows nicely. I'll keep you updated if I get any problems with this, but at the moment I'm really enjoying that. So I now need to mark. This is not part of the original video, but I find I don't want to do anything wrong, so I'm going to mark just with a pencil really, really lightly the middle of this middle panel here. So this is 2 1/4 wide, so I need to mark it at 1 1/8. I'm just doing this here just at the top, and I'll do the same here at the bottom. It's a bit difficult to see where I've got my score lines, so I'm just folding this up here a little bit, and then that's easier to see. So I want this really lightly so I can easily remove the mark. And I'm also doing the same on the middle panel here, because when I stick this down here, I want this to sit in the middle. So I need to put a mark just about there and a mark about there. So, and this panel here is 4 1/2, so that's easy to mark. I need to put it at 2 1/4. So just about there. And a bit higher. It's up to you really where you want to put the middle panel. I'm putting mine bang in the middle here, but you could move it down, you could even move it up. Wouldn't put it too high though, I think, because then it might be a bit top heavy, the card, but you could have it at the bottom here. But yeah, I think I'll have mine in the middle. This is even nicer because then I can see a little bit of those animals here and a little bit on the top. I'm covering quite a bit of the original design underneath. So have a think when you choose your pattern paper whether that suits you. So I'm now putting glue just on the middle panel here. This is still a little bit drying because I'm using quite lightweight cardstock. It has absorbed the glue quite a bit, so I definitely need to leave this to dry. You see it runs really smoothly. Try not to get too close to the edge so I don't have anything oozing out. So when I place this down now, I can make sure that I'm aligning it with those pencil marks. Can also, if you have it on a grid mat like I have, can also check that it's even on either side. So if I've got it straight at the top there, then this panel should be straight too, and it looks okay to me. So I'm just pressing this down and I'm leaving that to dry for a moment. I switch the camera off before I attach the sides, and I will also remove those pencil marks. So to attach these panels to these panels here, I'm folding this as if I wanted to close it to a gatefold card, and I'm folding this over here, and I'm actually marking with my pencil where I need to apply the glue. I'm a bit, let me just zoom in a little bit. I'm a little bit outside there, but that's fine because I will cut these bits off. So when I put the glue down here, I want to go a little bit lower and here a little bit higher than my pencil mark. So you could use some glue tape if you wanted to. Again, I'm being mindful not to apply too much. Might even be too much there. So I'm just spreading it out a little bit. So if I go over that, it doesn't really matter because I will cut it off. Just get this off my fingers here. So, and I'm holding this down and I'm folding this over and flat and press it down. And then when I open it up, it hopefully stays in place there. I'll leave this to dry for a moment. Yeah, and then I will do the same on the other side. I will close this. Yeah, we'll mark it, fold it down like this, glue it down, and then I will be able to open it like this. The glue has dried now, so all that's left to do for me now is to cut these rectangles off. So I'm just doing that with my scissors, just cutting it here and then folding it flat and actually cutting the score line away as well. Tidy that up a little bit here. So this is what it looks like. I will do that in a second with the other three as well, and then I'll show you the finished card. Just want to say one thing. I have decided to put those strips and leftover pieces in the bin, just the smaller ones. Bigger ones like these I kept. What I have done though in the meantime is, from one little scrap I cut two little stamps, postage stamps, with this die here. That's a generic one that I got through Amazon, but I think last time I looked it wasn't available anymore, but you can get loads of these. And I just cut again from a scrap these two little pictures. It's basically this one, and I cut the ticker off there to put on this stamp, and then this can go on the envelope that I put this card in. I thought that was a nice idea. And I've also cut a white panel here. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is for the back of the card, so I can put my greetings for the recipient on there, but I like to do that after I have written it, just in case I make a mistake, and also because I've got it's quite bulky here, so if I glue it down there and try to write this, it's not easy to write. You can actually see on the back there with the wet glue, I've got a little bit of a bubble there, a little bit of an air gap there, but it doesn't really matter because I'm covering this anyway with cardstock. But if you want to make sure when you use thin cardstock that you don't have that, use some taped or double-sided adhesive sheets to stick a panel down like this. Here's the finished card. So this is how the recipient would get it, although it's up to you whether you have this image on the top or this image on the top. I prefer it actually with Pooh and Eeyore there. And then the recipient can open it up, birthday wishes is visible there, and the recipient can set it up like this. I think this is a really, really lovely fun fold card, and I enjoyed making that, in spite of me taking, well, I'd say, good hour to work out the measurements in inches. And yeah, I'm curious to see what the other ladies have created. I know all of their cards will be great, and I'm curious to see what format they have, if they've got similar measurements or do it completely differently as well, maybe. Yeah, and if you're curious as well, you might want to check out their channels. As I said, everything will be linked below. And if you like my tutorial, you might want to give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. And I'll see you soon with another video.